For the last 3 decades, Knowledge Center at Bursa has offered technology, resources, services, space, and a sense of community. Since 1985, 14,000 titles have been collected, with care and attention to high financial literacy standards. In collaboration with a global community of institutions, we ensure access to the world's diverse intellectual and cultural economic heritage, as well as fast online services for connectivity to the financial world. Serving the Bursa Malaysia community and beyond, Knowledge Center at Bursa empowers you in your trading and investment analysis research.
Financial information at my fingertips.
Visit Knowledge Center at Bursa Malaysia today for the collections, for the services, for the sense of community.
You have suffered financial loss while investing, and you think your bank, broker, fund management company, unit trust management company, PRS provider or distributor, or their agent or representative is responsible. You need help sorting out the problem or want to seek redress. Where do you go? Sidrek is here to help you start the conversation and reach some resolution. First, lodge a formal complaint with a company that sold or offered you the unit trusts, shares, derivatives, or other capital market product or service. But you're not happy with their response. You have 180 days from their final written reply to come to Sidrek. Or if there's no written response, and it's been 90 days since you wrote to them, you don't need to wait longer. You may come to Sidrek even though you haven't received a final response yet. Sidrek first checks the eligibility of your claim. For example, is it within Sidrek's claim limit? Is it against a member of Sidrek? And so forth. If your case is eligible, we begin the dispute resolution process. All information in this process is confidential. We get both you and the member you're complaining against to sit with us and have a conversation. Documents and information will be required from both parties. No lawyers are allowed in the mediation process, as we keep the discussions informal and private. Our mediators are impartial and will hear both sides out and help parties communicate constructively towards resolving the dispute. 2 outcomes are possible at this stage. Either both you and the member agree to a settlement, or you don't. If the both of you agree to a settlement, an agreement is signed and the mediation process ends successfully. But if both you and the member fail to reach a satisfactory resolution, mediation has thus failed. But don't worry, Sidrek then proceeds to the next stage, adjudication. During adjudication, parties are given the chance to provide any further information to help their case and ask each other further questions. Our adjudicator will then study and consider all facts and information provided, including the conduct of the parties, laws, and best industry practices, as well as what's fair and reasonable. Sidrek's adjudicator will then make a final decision on the dispute and the monetary claim. If the decision is in your favor, it could be a full award or a partial award for your claim. But if the decision isn't in your favor, then no award will be made. You, the investor, will still have a choice. If you reject the decision, Sidrek will simply close the case and you may seek other legal avenues for redress. If you choose to accept the decision, however, the member has to comply with it. Once the parties have confirmed compliance to the decision, Sidrek will close the case. So let Sidrek help start the conversation towards resolution. For more information, visit sidrek.com.my or call 03 2282 2280.
Bursa Malaysia has been part of the Malaysian economic growth for over 4 decades. We have been working relentlessly to create a transparent, efficient, and vibrant stock exchange.
While we've been working at building a vibrant marketplace, inclusivity and contributing towards economic growth, we have also channeled efforts and resources towards supporting the community at large. Shares to Share is one such effort, which has been developed to create positive impact towards society and the environment. To put it simply, Shares to Share is a transparent and easily accessible facility that enables investors to donate their listed securities or proceeds from the sale of their listed securities towards charity through Yayasan Bursa Malaysia. You can donate odd lots or even board lots. The funds from the sale of these shares will be channeled to approved charitable organisations and their respective initiatives or projects.
Bursa Malaysia has waived its portion of the transfer fee, clearing and trading fees for all transactions that are conducted under Shares to Share. The participating brokers of Shares to Share have also agreed to waive their portion of the transfer fee and brokerage. The charitable organizations that have been selected have undergone the necessary due diligence process and have been duly approved by an independent selection committee.
At least 500,000 populations live with some kind of disability. They are most of the time being left behind. We need to empower them, otherwise they will continue to be the liability. A lot of human resources wasted from this group of people.
We provide a lot of support for persons with disability who are young adults and adults. We have a social enterprise called Project I Am Possible, where we manage to hire all persons with learning disability to work here. We have a cafe, bakery, weaving, and we have an art gallery.
Purity of thought, word, and deed, that is action, is very important to be really successful. We must know some skills to be able to help us then paperwork. The grant from Shares to Share will be used for one is sewing, handicraft, classical dance, and so on.
Our patients have to be fed, they have to be looked after. We look out for any sort of disease they might develop, and also those unforeseen circumstances. Thanks to Bursa's initiative, we can be a little bit easy on our patients if they are family members.
Donations will all be channeled to organizations that are involved in the sustainable development of Malaysia. The Shares to Share scheme offers you the chance to do so in a simple and effective way.
Bursa's Shares to Share allows us to do good by donating our shares to charities. To join us in making a difference to the society by donating your listed shares.
Shares to Share is open to all donors, individual as well as corporates or other types of entities. You can transfer your listed securities via Bursa Anywhere app at a click. For more information, please visit our Bursa Malaysia website.
Hello everybody. Welcome to today's webinar brought to you by Bursa Malaysia and managed by our company LifeChamp. Today, our webinar title is What are Shariah Discretionary Trading Services? So welcome everybody to this session. My name is Shen Chu. I'm the moderator for this webinar. So today, we are going to explore what are Shariah Discretionary Trading Services and the mechanism involved in it. So as usual, disclaimer, whatever we share in this session is only for educational purpose. So in no way that we give any recommendation for you to buy or sell any listed securities that we mentioned here. If you decide to make any investment decisions, you're 100% responsible for all your investment risk. Now, allow me to briefly introduce our speaker today. Our speaker has a decade of financial services experience spanning across investment banking, corporate finance, and equities research. He is one of the pioneer team members in formulating the discretionary trading services for Malacca Securities. He's a strong advocate of financial independence through smart investment approaches in financial assets, namely stocks, and also understanding the co-mingling of companies, financial markets, fund flows, and is one of the good avenues for many to achieve sustainable long-term growth in wealth. So that's what he believes in. So he's none other than Mr. Ryan Lim, who is the Assistant Vice President of Discretionary Trading from Malacca Securities in Berhad. So welcome, Ryan, to this webinar. How are you today?
Good, Shane. And I hope everyone is doing well as well.
All right, cool. Can hear you.
Yeah.
So let me just stop my screen sharing and hand over the session to you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Shane. Okay. All right. Let me just bring up my slides. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. And I would like to just say thanks, of course, to Bursa Malaysia, to LifeCham, Shane as the representative of LifeCham for organizing this event, and also to all who is here with us today, for spending your evening here, okay, to learn more about discretionary trading services and in our Shariah format in particular. So without further ado, let me get into our topic today. All right, so as what Shane has mentioned, so there's a disclaimer here. So again, it's not a representation or a way of influencing anyone here to buy or sell any form of shares. Okay, all investments decisions are made by the investors, or you have to seek your own dealers or remisers for any advice. Okay, so to all of you, you may wonder, what is discretionary trading services? Why we come up with this name? Why is it so complicated, right? Because you have heard of fund management, you've heard of so many other terms, but why discretionary trading? Okay, so discretionary trading is a service, you could say, all right, that, we as dealers representative, okay, of a participating organization, okay, in this case, Malacca Securities for Bursa Malaysia, okay, we are actually allowed to trade on the client's behalf, okay, after we have explained to the clients, okay, what are the charges, what is the strategy that we are going to execute using this portfolio. Okay, so we basically have to lay out all the terms and conditions, to make sure that the client understands. Okay, and if the client agrees to it, they sign everything, the documents and all that, then basically it is as simple as the investors just give us their capital, and we will actually execute on your behalf. So in other words, you don't have to worry about, oh, what should I trade today? What should I buy today? When should I sell? How should I monitor the market? So we are taking that all away from you. And we say that, we are the active people in the market. Let us, do the heavyweights for you. So we are the first broker, okay, to have actually kick-started discretionary trading. Okay, so discretionary trading in Malacca Securities has started in, I would say, I believe it's in 2017, all right? And we actually started off with a conventional approach. Okay, the conventional means to say you can buy any stocks that are listed in Bursa, and we have just focused mostly on stocks. So we don't really touch much of the warrants unless it's given by the company. Okay, so and then thereafter, we have sort of like, we did a bit of restructuring, and we sort of like built our base, we built our foundation. Our revamp happened in 2019, so we sort of like built the base, built the track record. And we actually managed to actually record good performances, good fund size. I don't want to say fund size, but the total money that is parked under discretionary trading. Okay, so with that, we felt that, okay, what, we have actually spoken to people in the market as well. People have been telling us, hey, what, why don't you guys come up with Shariah discretionary trading? So we say, yeah, that's definitely a good area that we have wanted to explore, and we have done it. We have actually been thinking, a lot about it. We have actually formulated something as well, just that we haven't really get to kickstart anything. So after a prolonged discussion, and also liaising with Bursa and the Shariah advisory, the Shariah Council of Bursa, the committee, if I'm not wrong. Sorry. So then we then after that came to understanding that we say that okay, we are definitely very interested to launch this thing. Okay, but of course Bursa would need to come up with the guidelines. Okay, so that we would operate within the guidelines of Bursa. So the conventional guidelines was actually just released in 2021. So it was actually last year, okay, of June, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so then Bursa has actually came out with the guidelines for Shariah discretionary trading, which then permits us to offer this Shariah discretionary trading, okay, to people who are interested, to say that, I also want to be a part of, DT. Okay, in short, discretionary trading we call DT. They say, what, but I also want it to be Shariah compliant, and then because earlier on our conventional one, okay, the minimum capital amount was 100,000. So they were also saying that, you know what, 100,000 is a bit too much for me to commit. Why don't you try to consider bringing it down that minimum amount level? So we have actually brought it down to about 30K. So the reason why we want to come up with DT is rather simple lah. Okay, because number one, we understand that actually people want to invest in the stock market. They like to trade on their own for some, but there are also people that say, what, I don't mind trading on my own, and I also want people to manage for me. Maybe they want to compare. We do not know. Okay. And there are also people that just say that, what, I want to trade on my own. I have no time to look at the market. Why don't you just do it for me? And we will just, open the account under discretionary trading. So with that in mind, we understand that, clients' interest is always very important to us. Okay. So that is why, when we approach this DT, right? We even starting with the conventional, we are very sure, and we want to make sure that, that all of our processes have the right internal controls, our risk, I would say management, internal control processes, procedures to ensure that, our clients' interest is always remain well protected. So, that's the whole reason why and how, this discretionary trading has came about. All right. So for us, we have always believed that, we want to deal with things in a very transparent manner. We are being very objective with the client. We want to make sure that the client understands everything, okay, before they get into whatever, agreement there is available, okay, at that moment. So yeah, I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, in terms of the mechanism, all right. So as I mentioned just now, okay, for Shariah discretionary trading is 30K based on the cash upfront. Yeah, so in the guidelines, it has clearly stated that it has to be a cash upfront, meaning to say you can't transfer your shares, or you can't open the account in any other ways. Okay, so basically, what the client would do is, okay, if you're already a client of M+, or even if you're not, so what you're required to do is you're required to open a direct CDS account first. Okay, that's the procedure. All right. Then after that, you open a nominee CDS account. So nominee CDS account is meant for discretionary trading, whereas your direct CDS is for your own, whether you want to buy shares, to buy and hold, dividends, whatnot. So that is how basically it works, because people may ask, hey, if I open this, can I still maintain my direct CDS in other PO and whatnot? So yeah, not an issue. Okay, you can maintain, a couple of CDS accounts, within a couple of POs, and that's not an issue. So as I've mentioned just now, okay, the strategy, everything, okay, all right, we will have to make sure we are very clear with the client first. Okay, what are the fees involved? Okay, so that the client is aware, okay, what they're getting into, okay, before they sign up. And on our part, okay, we will actually issue a monthly statement. Okay, so basically the monthly statement, what you get to see is you get to see your stock holdings, your cash holdings, what we have executed, what are the costs, everything is all in. Okay, so like I said, it reinforces our idea of being very transparent with the clients. So basically, we've got nothing to hide. We want to make sure that the client also understands, okay, actually, how are you managing in a way on my behalf, for the DT accounts. So you get to see, okay, and you get to understand, okay, what's going on, okay, instead of, being in the dark and you do not know what to do. Okay, so basically for Shariah discretionary trading, okay, you would say it is operated under the Islamic stockbroking window rules and also the rulings by Sharia Advisory Council of Securities Commission, meaning to say, okay, we only buy Sharia compliant counters, and if it turns non-compliant, all right, we would also follow accordingly to the procedures, okay, for stocks when it turns from Sharia to non-Sharia. Okay, and of course, since it's a cash upfront account, all right, interest in this case, HIBA, okay, will be given for unutilized capital, which will be credited to the client's trust account on a monthly basis, okay, and that is based on our prorated interest of, I think 3 to 4% right now at this moment. Okay, so before we actually came up with the documentations, the structure and all that, okay, we have consulted our own Sharia advisor as well, okay, which is Prof. Dr. Azlan Hassan. I think he's not just with us, okay, he's also a member of so many other Sharia advisory boards. So you may have seen him, in probably in some of the companies that you're working with, so he is also I just wanted to share a bit more. He is also one of our investors. Okay, so he basically, everything that we have done, okay, we have gone through, our Sharia advisor lah. Okay, so just to touch a little bit on the system, okay, that is involved, okay, under here, okay, this may get a bit technical, so just bear with me a little bit, okay. So like I've said just now, it's cash upfront, Sharia stocks, okay, that is approved by SE, okay, and there's also the HIBA, okay, and everything that we have done, right, is the portfolio statement, which is also, reflecting only, Sharia stocks and also Sharia Islamic banks, I would say. All right, and then for the ISBW tagging and reporting and all that, right? So basically, it involves our back end. So we actually have a separate, I would say, pipeline, right, of orders, and all that just exclusively for the Sharia discretionary trading accounts. So we do not, mix this with our conventional or any other, dealing methods for that matter. So that I just wanted to share a bit more in detail, okay, of our back end. All right. In terms of the investment strategy that we adopt, okay, previously we do have a strategy which is called a basket approach, okay. As of this, I would say, beginning of next month, okay, we have actually restructured the strategy slightly. Okay, so we actually changed from the basket approach to now what we call as a trend following approach. So the trend following approach is actually quite similar to our conventional model, because earlier on, the conventional and Sharia do not share the same investment strategy. Okay, so what we have done and what we've realized is, okay, we needed a change. So now, okay, it would try to model as much up to about 80% of our conventional trades. Okay, and it also has some trades on its own, okay, for the Sharia discretionary trading portfolio. Okay, so the core of that strategy is the trend following strategy. So you have heard of it, it's buy high and sell higher. Okay, it's not your Warren Buffett buy low and sell high. So that's value investing. So trend following, when we look at the stocks going, higher and higher, right, we actually get very excited, okay, and we want to participate. So to us, to us, that is our winning formula. So the trend following strategy. So we'll be able to find stocks that are, that has breakout from its resistance, okay, and you continue to go higher. And of course, not all the time it will turn out that way. So we also have our risk management principles and strategies to ensure that, we have our stop loss measures. If it hits that level, we will exit, okay, so that it creates the safety net for our investors, okay. All right, so the comparison between Sharia discretionary trading and the other products out there, all right. Okay, so because you may ask, oh, why you guys sound like fund management or unit trust or even private mandate or so many other things that is quite similar to what we have here. So I would say yes, it is true that there are some similarities here and there, but there are also, I would say, major differences between Shariah DT and the rest. Okay, so like the first one is Shariah DT, okay, is unlike fund management, whereby fund management, they have what they call as the omnibus system. Okay, so omnibus system is where they will buy a big chunk from the market and then they distribute to the clients, each and every one clients based on their capital and whatnot. Okay, so they have their own strategy, but the idea is they get to eat everything at one go, a big sum, and they distribute by the end of the day. Whereas for DT, right, how we execute trade is we will actually go one by one. Okay, so we go by the client A, client B, client C till Z, then by, so that is how we differ from the fund management. So right now, last time, yeah, we used to do that. We really go one by one, like, key client A, what stock, what price, what quantity. And if I have 100 clients, I'll have to do that 100 times. If I have 5 stocks, I have to times 5, then that's 500 times in a day. Okay, so, but now we have actually improved our execution process. So now with one click of a button, still the same thing, we still need to buy one by one, but now we are able to execute our trades much more efficient. Okay, so with one click, I can blast like, a couple of orders at one go. So that is how, we have improved from that approach that we had earlier. Okay, so just now I've also mentioned that, monthly statement is distributed via email to the clients. Okay, I think if you look at unit trust, I don't think you receive a monthly statement. I think maybe just, your statement, as to how much is making money and how much is in cash and shares, but not in such detail. So, we have taken one step approach. Of course, I think some may also make some comparison here. I think like if those who are with Phillip Capital, yeah, I think they're able to log in, online, and you can get to see things, on a daily basis. But that is not, private mandate anymore. Okay, so that is just, I believe it's just the unit trust system. So going to the third point, okay, in terms of cash and stocks exposure, because of our size right now, okay, which is about 4 to 5 million, okay, we are more agile, I would say, in terms of moving in and moving out stocks. So, we have that advantage, and also I think we can definitely still grow, even at, 50 million or so, I like to think that we are still much more agile as compared to $1 billion fund. Okay, and of course, lastly, we aim to be more competitive in terms of costs. Okay, so with that, we hope that, clients will not pay that much upfront, and they'll get to enjoy more in terms of the benefit. They get to reap more in terms of the cost savings. All right. Okay, so just to give everyone a quick comparison, okay, in terms of the numbers. Okay, so the initial investment is 30K versus the private mandate fund of 50, 100K. So the sales charge here is 2.5% versus the others. Okay, so the rest is all quite self-explanatory. Okay, so even the brokerage, we have actually lowered it down to just 3 ringgit. So if you open a direct CDS account, you pay a minimum of 5 or 8 ringgit depending on the contract value. Okay, this is us doing all the work for you, and you only pay 3 ringgit, for the brokerage fees. So, it's, to me, it's such a good steal, from this cost structure. Okay, and of course, there's also an admin fee of 13 ringgit a month. So that is basically for our statements, for operational, to cover operational costs. I think with others, you still look at things like, of course, trustee, you have switching fee, you have custodian fee, you have so many other charges which we do not impose to the client. So you're just looking at a straight 2.5% sales charge, 1.5% management fee, brokerage, admin fee. Brokerage and the clearing and the stamp duty, they're all standard. Yeah. All right. So now, okay, understanding the fee model of Shariah discretionary trading, which I've also covered a bit just now. Okay, the costs which I've mentioned earlier. Okay, I think for those of you who have been trading the market, I think you'll be able to make the comparison on your own. Okay, and there's also the early termination fee of 2,000 or 10% of the portfolio value, whichever is higher. Okay, only within the first 12 months. So anything after that, you could do whatever you want. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, in terms of the asset value fee, it will be upfront fee of 2.5% plus the annual AUM fee of 1.5%. So this AUM fee, right, we actually charge it on a prorated monthly basis. Okay, so you get to see some of the examples that we've included later. Okay, for the understanding of everyone. Okay, that is here. All right, so you get an idea of how this thing works in terms of the calculation and whatnot. Okay, so basically we do comply to all the guidelines that are given out there. All right. Okay, so now let's get to the numbers of the fee-based model. Okay, so assuming if let's say I start Shariah DT, right? So on 1st of Jan, I put the 30,000 capital. So remember earlier we said that we charge the 2.5%, right? So that 2.5% is the upfront. So we definitely deduct that off from the account once the funds are in. So we deduct 750 ringgit off. So you have the balance of 29.25K. All right. And then assuming at the end of the month, okay, your portfolio value remains the same. Okay, just for illustration and for example purposes. Okay. And then we would then actually waive the first month charge. Because remember earlier just now I said that 1.5%, we actually prorated, we charge it on a monthly basis. So you get about 0.125%, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so we'll charge 10 every month, but for the first month, we actually waive it off because we have already imposed the upfront fee. Okay, so the company actually decided that, they wanted to do that out of goodwill. Okay, and then assuming by the end of second month, right? Okay, the portfolio value still remains the same, which is 29,250. So we will then impose the first asset value fee, okay, that we have prorated. Okay, so that amount will be 36 ringgit and 56 cents. So we deduct that off from your 29,250K, and you're left with that balance of 29,213.44. All right, so this is the first part. Okay, the second part is now what we want to see is assuming if there are a top up, because you may top up right in between of the investment tenure. Okay, so the first three lines on the table on top, right, those are the same as the slide earlier. Okay, so now we assume that let's say at that value of 29,213.44, right, you decided that you want to top up 10K. Then you ask, then how do you charge me then? If I want to top up. So what we will do is we will actually charge the 2.5% of the 10K, not the total, just the 10K, because that is the fresh capital. Okay, so that will translate to about 250 ringgit. Okay, so you deduct that off from the top up amount. Okay, and then you add that into your net portfolio value. Okay, and then at the end of that month that you top up, right? Okay, we will still charge your monthly charge. Okay, but instead of charging the total amount, we will charge your total portfolio value at the end of the month minus off the amount that you top up. So if you look at our example here is 38,963.44. So we minus off 10K and then we charge the percentage and you get 36 ringgit and 20 cents. So that then you're left with 38K, and 927.24. All right. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. Okay, so what if, when you look at a portfolio and you saw that, oh, I saw that there are profits. And for whatever reason, you say, Ryan, I want to take some profits out. Can I do that? So yes, definitely you can. So again, the first three lines is the same as all the other tables. Okay, the first three rows are all the same as the other tables earlier. So now what you're looking at is you're looking at a total portfolio of 32K. Okay, you say, oh, I put 30K. Now I ended up with 32K. Can I withdraw? Yes, so you can. So you withdraw the 2K, all right? So you can just withdraw the 2K. Okay, so there will not be any charges. Okay, you just withdraw, and what you have left is that you are left with the balance of 30K. Okay, assuming at the end of the month your value is still 30K, all right, we will then charge the percentage of the monthly prorated basis amount, okay, which is equivalent to 37 ringgit and 50 cents, okay, and you're left with the balance of 29962.5, which we will carry forward to the next month. Okay, so you waive off that first month, okay, but not for the others lah. All right, okay, so now this is the part where it gets a bit trickier. What about early termination? So within the first 12 months, you say, you know what, Ryan, I've got some emergency, I need to withdraw the funds. So, you know, I'm so sorry, I need to pull out. Okay, so it's unfortunate, but you know, it's already stated in the agreement that, you know, there will be charges. So I had no choice but also to execute based on the agreement. All right, so you look at your portfolio value at the end of at the point that you want to withdraw. Okay, so assuming again your portfolio value is 29213.44. Okay, so we have that rule earlier, right? We say early termination fee of 2,000 ringgit, a flat 2,000 ringgit, or 10% of the portfolio value, whichever is higher. So do take note of that condition there. We will take whichever is the higher value. So in this case here, we will take 10% of your portfolio value. So 10% of the portfolio value is 29213.44. So in this case here, it exceeds the 2,000 ringgit flat that we charge. Either one, right? So we'll definitely, so we take the 2921.34, okay, as the termination fee, okay, and then we will deduct that off your portfolio lah. So then you ended up left with 26292.10. So I think when we put this in, you know, I just want to make clear to everyone, you know, when we put this in, right, it's not so much that we want to purposely, you know, penalize our investors and whatnot. Basically, you know, I think like any investments, I think there has to be a certain form of commitment, okay, because you can't be too kanchong, you know, when you want to invest. Of course, you know, we have to make sure that, you know, we have to take care of risk, you know, we have to manage our exposure, okay, but if we have done that well, okay, then, you know, as investors, you know, you should be able to commit, you know, to it. All right. Okay. That's all in terms of the Shariah discretionary trading.
All right.
That's quick.
Okay, that's quick. Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you have any question for our speaker today, Ryan, please write them in the Q&A box.
Sure.
So Ryan, 1
Yeah.
year is the minimum subscription rate, right? Subscription period, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they are shorter than 1 year, then you there's a penalty lah.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Is it standard across all the provider or?
No. Okay. I think we are the first one. So I think ours is considered pretty affordable in that sense. Okay, because even with the conventional one, it's 100, and now we're doing 30, right, for Shariah. I was told that CGS CIMB has also started, if I'm not wrong, but they are asking for a minimum of 500,000 to just start. So I'd like to think that we are still very competitive in that sense, and I believe that, you know, at this moment, we'll continue to still be very competitive compared to other providers.
Do you mention Philip just now?
Yeah, I did.
So at the moment, there are you, Malacca, and Philip.
Philip
Right.
Capital, they used to have the private mandate, but I think they also, I think there was some mismatch of expectations and in terms of the performance as well. So I think in the end, they had to actually stop doing the private mandate services. So yeah, I think that was a very, very long time ago, where, you know, they can still use EDF to actually, you know, to fund that account for private mandate services. I think for them, they call it private mandate. They don't call it discretionary trading, because it was quite a long time ago.
Okay, so you say that Malacca Securities is the first provider. So are you the only provider at the moment?
Shariah, yeah, I believe we are the only one, and we are definitely
Shariah,
the
you're the
first
only one.
one in the market.
So you're the first one in conventional and first one in Shariah, and you're the only one in Shariah,
Yes,
right?
that's
Shariah
right.
DT lah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
Understand. So the next question is by Lim. Why do we still need a direct CDS account to subscribe to DT services? Isn't nominee account alone enough?
Yeah, I believe this is because of our back-end system. So basically, our requirement for internal policy for our market securities is, the client would have to open up a direct CDS first, and then after that, only they are able to open nominees.
But you will trade using the nominee, right?
Yes, we'll trade using the nominees. That's right.
Okay, so the CDS, no, the client is free to buy or sell any securities in the CDS account without impacting the position in the nominee account done by provided by DT services.
Yes. So because you see, when you if you decided to have a CDS account later, right, on your own with us or whatever, right, then you will start to interfere with if you just open only a nominees account. So that was also, you could say, one of the reasoning behind it.
Okay, so essentially we need to open two accounts, so that's a part of the process.
Yes,
okay.
that's right.
So
and you could just leave the direct CDS account, unattended.
Okay. So if that become dormant, it also won't affect the nominee account, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Understand.
Right.
So who is the fund manager managing the account? Is it your fund manager or it is the dealer that they sign up with?
Basically, I'm part of the team that is managing the whole thing. So you could say that yes, I'm the brains behind it for now in terms of the strategy. So in terms of what we buy, what we sell, I would be the one coming up with the ideas and put it into action, execution, monitoring for selling into profit or losses. So yeah. So you'll be dealing with me and my team.
Okay, so in other words, do they have to find you to open the DT account, or they can sign up a DT account with their dealer or reminder, then the account will be handed over to you?
Yeah, if you do know any of our dealers, you can do so. But if you don't, then yeah, I believe you have to reach out directly to me. Then it is much easier and straightforward.
Okay, understand. So the next question is by Mr. Abidin. What would be the benchmark performance of your DT services?
All right. The benchmark of our performance for DT, Shariah DT, all right, we are looking at the FBM small cap index, which is quite, a tough index to beat, to be really honest. So yeah, that is actually what we're comparing against. Okay, and in terms of performances as well, I believe, when we first started the Shariah DT, okay, we actually saw some gains. But after that, when there's political uncertainty and also a bit of, market uncertainty, right? Okay, it has gone down a bit. So that's why, we decided that it is timely that, we want to, sort of like amend, okay, to cater to the market needs, okay, and we believe that, with this amendment, right, you'll be able to then push, our performances to greater heights.
Okay, so you're suggesting that we may benchmark the FBM small cap for similar return that would be delivered by your team.
At the very least, I think, yeah, we should be able to match, but I think obviously the objective is to outperform. So I don't think, as an investor, especially if you're engaging with a service, right, then, you will be, contented with just, oh, you know what, I'm just getting the same returns as the market performance. I definitely want, sort of like an outperformance, in my own account. Otherwise, why would I engage you, right?
Okay. Yeah, so the follow-up question is, how could I get the sense of a performance in managing my possible funds under DT review? Are you able to do like disclosures, a sheet or past performance?
Yeah, okay. I can, but you gotta give me a bit of time because I need to get something, our fact sheet up so that I can share with everyone. Is that okay? Or do I do it privately with Mr. Abidi?
I think okay lah, go ahead.
All right, sure. Hold on. Okay. Just give me a second. Right, yeah, and just wanted to share with everyone, for those of you who are here today, right, I will actually share like a Google Forms link just to get everyone's details, whoever that has attended this seminar. So yeah, if you may just share your details with Mecca Securities. Okay, let me bring up our fact sheet right now. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is our fact sheet that I can share with everyone here. Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, we have our performance and we compare it against small cap, and at the green color line is our QRMI, we call it QRMI portfolio. The blue color line is actually the FBM small cap index, and of course the red color line is FBM KLCI. So basically, yeah, just to give everyone an idea of what it is. So like I mentioned earlier just now, okay, it was actually on a slightly declining trend, okay, at this moment, okay. That is why we felt that it's necessary to actually make some changes, okay, to our approach. And we believe that, because right now, like I said earlier, okay, we are actually modeling it after Astute at the moment. So, we believe that, it would actually improve from this moment on, because for our conventional portfolio, right, we're actually seeing, I would say rather good performances at this moment, even though despite the market condition. So again, basically this is just to share the information. Okay, we are not trying to, convince that it is good, you should sign up or anything like that. It's not. Basically, it's just more FYI, purposes. Okay, so I'll bring the slides back up.
All right. So you were saying that the conventional trading, discretionary trading has a slightly better performance,
yeah,
than the Shariah one.
Yeah. At this moment, yes.
So in the past, conventional and Shariah were not using the same strategy. So that's why Shariah now decided to model the strategies that are used by the conventional discretionary trading.
Yeah.
Which is trend following, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
So in the past, what strategy were Shariah discretionary trading using? Is it value investing?
It is, you could say it is like a okay, the way how you structure it is, it's a bit like an ETF, okay, but ETF focusing on a basket of stocks that has demonstrated earnings growth or strong earnings growth. Okay, so we'll pick about 8 to 10 stocks and we put it into like one basket, and then we'll buy and sell on the same. We have like a proprietary entry and exit signal. So once there's an entry signal, so we'll buy, like, let's say we've identified 10 stocks, right? We'll buy all 10 and we'll put it into that portfolio. And when there's exit signal, then we'll exit all 10 on the same day.
Okay, understand that. Yep. So I think you may put back your slide up.
Yep. It's up, right?
No, we're still seeing your PowerPoint, your PDF.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we're still seeing your PDF.
Okay. Sorry.
Is this fact sheet, searchable on your website?
It's not, but I think I've actually I will leave my contact number at the end of the slides later. So for those that are interested, they can actually find out more about this from me.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the next question is, would the mentioned charges remain chargeable if your discretionary trading funds underperform the mentioned benchmark?
Yes. Unfortunately, that may not be the answer the client wants to hear, but yes, you still continue to charge because why this is fee based and why there's also for our conventional is actually profit sharing based and this one is fee based now. So we are not allowed to charge both. That is under Bursa guidelines. Okay, so Bursa said that you can only charge either one, so you can't charge both. Why? Because both are what is allowed in fund management. So fund management, they can charge you management fee, they can also still charge you profit sharing. So because what we have heard from the market was, they do not want profit sharing, they want just the fee base, because they like to think that if we can make the profits, they want to retain most of the profits, they don't want to share it out. So that is why we've decided to adopt the fee-based model for the Shariah discretionary trading, whereas the conventional one is profit sharing and no fees.
Okay, performance profit sharing.
Performance profit sharing.
So if you underperform, I mean, if you lose money, then there's no fee charge.
No, then we don't share the profits at all.
Okay, on a high watermark basis, I suppose.
Yes, that's
right.
Okay,
how is the profit sharing like?
The profit sharing, okay, so we used to have a different model and now we've changed it. So now we've changed it to on a quarterly basis. So anything in excess of 1.25% of the performance, we will share 30% of the excess profit. So in other words, in a year, you're looking about 5% minimum. That is the watermark that we need to maintain.
Do you say 1.25%?
1.25% per quarter.
Oh, okay, 1.5 per quarter. So every quarter, the minimum is 1.25% growth.
Yes, that's right. On a quarterly basis. Yes.
All right. So the next question is, so even if, okay, so for the fee-based model, if in the unlikely event that the DT services underperform and lose money, and if investor want to withdraw and it is still within 12 months, so they are still subject to the early termination fee, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
The next question is, which sectors do you invest in your fund?
Okay, all right. So okay, if we talk about because at this moment the QRMI we are holding most of it in cash. Okay, so if you talk about the conventional one that we have, okay, we have actually invested into I would say utilities. Okay, utility sector. We also have some engineering services. Okay, lately we have also invested into cement companies. We also bought into I would say chemical related. Okay, I think if you guys are active, you guys would know what I'm mentioning right here. So basically, yeah, these are the few that we have involved in. So we are not like Katie Wood up type, we say, oh, we only invest into, future-proof businesses, we want ideas that are, as crazy as possible. So we are not very one-sided in that sense. We are, like I said, we are based on trend. Trend can come from any stocks, any sector, okay, depending on how the situation is of the market at the moment. So, like conventional earlier on, okay, obviously in 2020, 2021, we have invested into gloves, technology, and whatnot. So that has actually generated, quite a good performance for our investors. Just to give everyone, a background of what it is.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Sure.
Is your strategy more TA based, or you also consider FA? Because you were using trend following right now, right?
Yes. So our trend following is not purely TA. We actually combine with FA. We also combine with various other form of analysis. So you could say that our approach is quite holistic in a sense, because normally, some people, they just subscribe to one school of thought, or more biased towards one side. Like if you value investing, is definitely just fundamentals. So if you talk about technicals, it's like, what they like to call is BTST, buy today, sell tomorrow, that kind of things, so that is very, very technical. So we say, no, not that we are against, we want to take a very holistic approach. So we really consider everything, the TA, the FA, earnings growth, the developments, the prospects, all of these, factors would be considered before we buy into a stock.
All right. So even though you see a trend forming and you subscribe to trend following, but if the fundamental of the company is poor, you may not execute a position.
That is correct. That is correct. So I also want to share that, for known stocks that are considered to be growing stocks, we don't touch them. Namely, and it's mainly to protect our clients' interest line. So we do not want to dabble into this kind of area.
Is there any threshold, like it has to be above how big the market cap before you can do it?
Market cap so far, I think we do not set, but I think from what I can see is, I think we will look at something around, at least probably around 200 million and above. So we can go probably to certain people is low, but I think even at 200 mil, there are not many but just saying that, there are some stocks maybe that, that is beaten so hard, right? But their fundamentals are still not that bad, so those are some of the stocks that we actually consider. So yeah, so again, it all goes back to the fundamentals. And also the market cap is not something that we look at. In terms of the price alone, I think we try to stick to stocks that are above 30 cents if it's possible. Okay, anything that is about 20 odd cents, again, we have to look at the fundamentals. Okay, the fundamentals is all right, we would consider.
All right, thank you so much, Ryan.
Yes.
Is this Shariah discretionary trading services only open to Muslim investors?
No, obviously not. So we have non-Muslims and Muslims. Obviously, more Muslim than non-Muslim, but yeah, it's not just limited to Muslim clients. It's open to everyone.
Okay. Now, how is it that you can execute trades individually and efficiently, for so many accounts?
Yeah. So, like what I've shared a bit earlier, so we have actually sort of like, I would say we imported, a new technology. So we are able to integrate that into our execution model. So yeah, we I don't want to go because it's a very long process, but okay, to cut it short, we are able to connect the dots, and now with that system, right, with the one click of a button, we can really fire through and blast like several orders, within a few seconds. So obviously, there is that price difference, that is that efficiency difference as compared to the previous, model that we have. So I can't dwell too much on it, but what I could say is we have just imported a new technology and we have upgraded in that sense.
Okay, so you don't have to execute one by one for each
Yeah,
account.
not like the manual way of doing so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be more efficient.
Yes.
And just now you talk about Omnibus for
Yeah.
the fund management system. Could
Yeah.
you explain more about Omnibus?
Okay, like I think for this also, I think we do not want to get too much into the detail, but the gist of it is, for Omnibus, right, they will just buy, say for example, okay, they need to purchase let's say 100K worth of stocks. So they'll just buy the whole thing using one account, which is the Omnibus account. Okay, they'll just buy for the 100K value worth of stocks. Okay, assuming if it's RM1 per stock, then you get about 100,000 shares. So they will then distribute to their clients. So they have client A to say client 1 to client 10. So each and everyone will assuming in this case each and everyone will get 10,000. Okay, so that is how it works for Omnibus. So whereas for us, we will still have to go through, okay, client 1 to 10, we have to key in 10K, 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 10K. What price? Then we fire our order. Then you go one by one. Then you execute. So there are times that it may not execute, we may have to wait, we may have to adjust the price and whatnot.
Okay.
So as opposed to one hand that just catches the whole thing via Omnibus. So that is something that we have actually been liaising with Bursa, to be honest. We have been speaking a lot with Bursa. I think Bursa is actually quite happy that, Marcus Securities is so proactive and quite innovative in that sense. Okay, we help to promote discretionary trading to the retail investors. So we did share, that, Omnibus is something that the regulators can consider to sort of like include it in the guidelines, for us to operate in a more efficient way, to benefit our clients more. So I believe that is something that, that they are not close to it at this moment. Okay. So, but of course, Omnibus can be quite tricky as well. So it involves a lot of discussion and whatnot with the regulators between Bursa and SC. So we will just have to wait for them.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Yep.
Are your current services only provide exposure into the local equities market? Do you have any plans to get exposure to any other non-equity markets such as foreign asset, foreign currency, and also alternative assets?
Okay. Under the guidelines of Bursa, right? So we are not allowed to actually trade the other geographical stocks. We are not allowed to also trade other asset class or alternative assets and whatnot, because that one all falls under a different purview. Okay, so for us right now at this juncture is only Malaysian listed in the platform of Malaysia equities market. Okay, of course, again, I think we had this talks with Bursa, where Bursa wanted to hear from us, like, okay, what are the things that you guys felt that we should raise up and, that can be considered to be included in the guidelines. So as I mentioned just now, the first one was actually the Omnibus. So the second one is actually this foreign market. So, that is also something that, we are quite keen. And, Marcus Securities recently has also, we have allowed our clients to trade US and Hong Kong shares. So, we felt that, even myself personally, I do think that, you shouldn't all invest into Malaysian equities. There are so many opportunities out there, especially in the US right now, where the market is, is moving, at such a rate that, is defying gravity a bit. So yeah, so to us, we are definitely keen. Okay, but because the guidelines has clearly stated that we can't, so we just have to wait, and we want to continue to engage the dialogue with Bursa, and hopefully that they will be open to liberalize the market even further.
All right. So the guideline only allows you to trade anything on the equities market. How about local derivative market,
Local derivative
like
market.
FCPO, which is Sharia compliant?
At this juncture, they have not touched on that. So again, it's an area where it can be explored lah, with Bursa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next question by Karim is that is this discretionary trading services, is the income taxable?
It's not if you open under your individual name or individual accounts. But if you do open under corporate, then you would have to declare to income tax lah. Because under corporate, yeah, you would have to pay taxes for shorter term major investments.
Okay. The next question is local funds or funds allowable then?
Okay, again, and it is an area that was not highlighted, but I think that because depending on the funds, right? So most of the funds if the funds that you're talking about, I would have to assume is unit trust and whatnot. So in terms of that, definitely can't because we can only buy shares and not funds. So no funds or funds are allowed in that sense lah. And I think, yeah, I think if you talk about shares, definitely anything is doable. But if you talk about funds, then I believe it's not.
All right, understand that, Ryan.
Sure.
The just now I mentioned that the minimum subscription period is 1 year.
Yeah.
So if I subscribe today, say somewhere in June.
Yeah.
And so the expiry will be until next year, somewhere this period. But
Yeah.
if I top up middle of the year, like I top up in October because of your good performance, does the 1 year subscription start again at October?
I would say, if I'm not wrong, I would say that it wouldn't. Oh, wait. Sorry. Yeah. It would.
It would lah.
It would.
So the first tranche, the termination clause will end in June next year. So the second tranche, the top up will also require another 12 months, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
All right. So if you have any more questions to ask our speaker today, you may write them in the Q&A box, yeah? So usually what type of, clients would open an account with you? Like what kind of target market you reach out to?
I think, okay, if we talk about conventional, I just want to give a bit of color of what it was. So, if we talk about the 100K one, right, we have, a lot of, we do have quite a number of people that I would consider them as retiree or business owners and, high-level executives. Of course, our owners are all the family members, they're all invested in it as well. So yeah, that is for the conventional. But since we have launched the Shariah discretionary trading, right, which is just a minimum of 30,000, I believe that market is very broad lah. So basically, we really see, anyone from any states that has 30K, if they have heard of us, they buy our idea, and then if they put money with us, yeah, we really have a wide spectrum of demographic.
Okay, so you're saying that
your
conventional DT has a higher minimum capital requirement.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what is the minimum?
100,000.
100,000. Okay, so generally that will reach out to a higher income earners, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So how is DT and Sharia DT different? Is it Sharia one? I understand you only trade the Sharia compliant counters, But how about the trading services? Do you go through like Bursa I trading services, settlement services?
Yes, that's right. That's right. So yeah, the Sharia discretionary trading, everything is solely dedicated for Sharia. I would say services lah. So whether it's the back end, whether it's the order tagging, all of it, and we also if advise clients, you should, actually deposit into Islamic banks and all that. So basically, yeah, that's the difference between Sharia DT and conventional DT. So conventional DT is you're allowed to buy into any stocks, our trading tagging system, they are all, I would say just in accordance to the nominees account and whatnot. So basically, yeah, that would be the main difference. And of course, like I've mentioned also just now, our conventional one currently we are doing profit sharing, and the Sharia one we are doing fee-based now. So I think when we hear that, if there are more people that wants to do profit sharing for Sharia DT, we may actually also consider, creating that for people that are interested.
Okay, understood that. The next question is, just to be sure, there won't be any targeted, not promised rate of return, right?
Yeah, so we don't guarantee or promise the rate of return. In terms of targeted, I would say, yeah, you would say that we are probably aiming somewhere between 12 to 15% per annum. Okay, again, that is just an expectation lah. Okay, we don't guarantee and we don't want to promise anything here.
So just like you show a period of growth of 60% right? That was over
Yes.
How long the period?
That was starting in 2019.
2019, okay.
Yeah. So you average it out, yeah, it's thereabouts lah, in terms of the average return.
Okay, understand that. So if any questions out of speaker, you may write them in the Q&A box, or we still have some time. So how would investor be able to track your performance?
Okay, so it's simple. Remember earlier just now I shared that the investors will receive a monthly statement. So under the monthly statement, you get to see your own portfolio performances. Okay, and you get to see how much of it is in cash, how much of it is in stocks. So at the end of every month, I would say at the within first to second week of every month, you will get to see your end of the month portfolio performance. So that is where you'll be able to track your performance.
Okay. And for those unutilized capital, you will distribute HIBA, right?
Yeah, that's right. We distribute HIBA, and that will credit the interest at the end of the month.
Okay. Let me see if there are any more questions. Malacca Securities is a Islamic PO, right?
Yeah, Islamic stockbroking window. We operate under the framework of ISBW lah. Because if you talk about the real Islamic one, it will be like Bank Islam and all that.
Yep, you're welcome, Mr. Abidin, for being a very active audience today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Abidin.
Yes, let me see if there are any more questions. So it looks like the Sharia discretionary trading charges a much lower fee compared to private fund mandates, or also public fund mandates too, right?
Yeah.
So this is an alternative way for investors who have some idle cash and can pass to provider like you who provide this service to help to grow the capital. Okay, looks like no more question on my panel. So Ryan, do you have any, parting words you want to share with us before we conclude the session?
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to say thanks again to everyone here. Okay, to you as well, Shane. For Shariah discretionary trading, okay, I would say that just like how when we started our conventional discretionary trading, even though for a lot of others, you may not even heard of our conventional, and now suddenly you hear, hey, how come you already got Shariah? When last time I don't even know you have a conventional. That was because we were actually waiting for the official guidelines from USA, and who's like I've mentioned just now, USA actually has came out with the official guidelines for conventional DT in 2021 and the Shariah one in 2022. So that is why right now, only we are able to come out and be more active in terms of marketing lah. So for conventional discretionary trading also, when we first started, right, of course, we did pitch, and of course, there are some people that were that are skeptical, yeah, because they've never heard of something like this, which is, I believe, is normal. Okay, but there are also those that have invested in us lah. So those that came in early, they did enjoy, I would say, the reaps or they did reap the benefit of of the reward lah, of our services. Okay, and our goal is quite simple. Okay, we do know that there are many people out there that wants to try to make money from the stock market in a sustainable way, that can sort of like grow their wealth gradually over the long run. And I believe that this provides one of the good avenues out there, okay, as compared to the other financial services out there lah. So yeah, if you still have any questions that you would like to ask further, okay, you can visit our website as well. Okay, and I believe or you can reach out to me directly, where I can share more in depth lah.
Okay, yeah, looks like I want clarifying question, Ryan.
Yeah.
You said that the conventional discretionary trading started in 2021 and Shariah started in 2022. But how did you have performance in 2019, since 2019?
Yeah, so yeah, the funny thing is we sort of like operated first, even without the official guidelines. Okay, to be fair, okay, SC did amend the rules in 2014 to actually they actually revised the part of the stockbroking guidelines, okay, to say that actually stockbrokers are allowed to actually conduct discretionary trades on behalf of clients. But at that point of time, right, it is still a very small scope. So there are many gray areas. So at that point of time, my ex-boss see this as an opportunity for the brokers, so he came up with this concept and executing this model and this business portfolio. So that was how it started. So actually, when they then it started to pique a lot of interest from other investment banks and all that. So they actually, there was a bit of a hoo-ha there, okay, and then finally, we do continue to run our business and all that, okay. So after when they came out with the official guidelines, right, we actually had to pay a fine to Bursa, because in a way we are not following the rules. Not to say we're not following the rules, but we are, you could say we are penalized for being one step ahead, when the official guidelines are not out yet. So, but to us, we don't mind, because we still believe in the good cause of having discretionary trading in the market.
Understand that. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Did
Yeah.
sorry, it just slipped my mind. Okay. And nonetheless, we go to the next question first. Norizan asks, when will M Plus start global stock trading?
I have this is Mr. Norizan. Actually, we have started M Plus. So M Plus, we have started global trading since April. For US and Hong Kong at this moment. Okay, so we have actually started. So if you're interested, you can just visit our website.
All right.
Yep.
So it looks like no more question on my screen. So the DT services is granted to the participating organization, but not the dealer, right? I mean, a dealer cannot help to perform DT service.
Okay, so I'm a dealer. So I'm actually granted by my company to offer discretionary trading, but that is based on the model that the company has came up with. All right, so this is for paid dealers representative. So I also wanted to share that, okay, what about remisers? So those are commission dealer, right? For remisers, they are actually also allowed to offer DT services. So like right now, under market securities, we have about 3, and we're gonna add a few more as well. So we have 3 remisers that have actually kickstarted DT since I think 2-3 years ago. I believe it was about 2-3 years ago. So they have actually kickstarted. So they would have a separate, I would say, strategy. They will have a separate model in terms of what they charge, what they share, and so that will all be reflected in the agreement. So they're actually allowed to actually sort of like independently have their own DT services, because okay, to be honest, why the regulators came out with this is because there were a lot of gentlemen's agreement out there, type of deals, and a lot of it sort of like blew up, and then clients come and complain. They say that why the PO, your dealer come and trade on my behalf, and then so there's a lot of disputes going on. So that is why I think also looking at the overseas trend, right? So they decided that having DT would be beneficial to the capital markets lah. So actually, for a dealer under company, yes, you're actually allowed to do that. And even as a remiser, you're also allowed to carry out your DT services for your own clients. So what they have to do is they just have to come and propose to us. So they'll go through our sort of like our vetting process, and then once we have approved, then we can kickstart their DT, and then we have like a review that we conduct with the remisers. Why is because again, for us, it's about the client's interest. We need to make sure that the client does not churn, because churning is not allowed under the discretionary trading guidelines. So that is why for us, we have to come up with all these, I would say, control measures to ensure that client's interest remains guarded. Even though remisers are allowed to offer DT services.
So are there fee models similar to what Malacca Securities propose?
No, they can choose whichever they want, whether it's profit sharing or fee based. Currently, the ones that are with us right now, they are all using profit sharing.
So they mean they can vary the profit sharing amount, right? Like 40%, 20%, up to them lah.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
But
as long as the client is agreeable to it, then it's fine.
So just now the fee model that you share is from Malacca Securities under you.
Yes,
right?
under me.
Okay, so
Shariah
all other
DT.
remisers, they are free to use their own fee model.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
Just now I mentioned about churn. Could you explain a little bit about churn?
Basically, like unusual trading activities, like you keep buying and selling the same stocks, or for that frequency is higher than usual. Again, there was no specific way to point out what is churning, but suggest there are certain traits that can or some, if it is too obvious, then definitely you can't help but to call it churning.
All right, understand that. All right, so that shall conclude our session, which is Shariah. What are Shariah discretionary trading services? So, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Mr. Ryan Lim, who is Assistant Vice President of Discretionary Trading under Malacca Securities Sdn Bhd.